The Walkie Stacker model forklift is designed for a person to operate the truck while walking, not riding the equipment. Unlike the rider forklifts or counterbalanced equipment that are designed for heavier loads, the Walkie Stackers are designed for less demanding loads and shorter travel distances. Quite often this equipment is called a straddle truck, as it straddles the load. Don't let the names confuse you. Walkie Stacker, truck, or straddle truck means the same thing. As with any equipment, you must be trained to operate the equipment, and you must be authorized by your company before you operate the Walkie Stacker. The Walkie Stacker is easy and safe to operate if you follow the rules. If you fail to follow the rules, this equipment can be dangerous. The red button is the safety reversing switch, which automatically reverses the direction of the Walkie Stacker should the handle contact the operator or a fixture, wall, or other obstruction. It's a safety feature to keep a person from being crushed against a wall or other object. You must perform a daily inspection at the beginning of your shift, before you operate the equipment. This inspection should be thorough. Don't give the Walkie Stacker a quick once-over. It's important to provide a thorough inspection. Basically, there are two parts to the inspection. First, with the key in the off position, and secondly, with the key on and the battery engaged. With the key off, check to see if the forks are located in place and the correct working width is set. Check the wheels for cracks and gouges. Make sure the battery plates are in place and secured. Pull the handle down and make sure it snaps back to the vertical position when released. Check all chains and cables to make sure they aren't loose, frayed, or otherwise damaged. The take-up wheel should be free of binding. Check for leaks in the hydraulic system. Of course, make sure the battery is properly charged and in serviceable condition. With the key in the on or engaged position, make sure the horn works. Check all operational controls, such as the raising, lowering, and tilting functions. Make sure they are all operating properly. Check the safety reversing mechanism. Check the brakes. They should work with the handle in the vertical and horizontal positions. Make sure the battery disconnect switch is functioning. You already know that the only way to operate any equipment is the safe way. For the Walkie Stacker trucks, the same rule applies. The basic safe operating position for the Walkie Stacker is shown here. Stand close enough to the truck so you have proper control, but don't stand too close. Standing too close can result in the wheels of the truck running over feet or legs, causing serious injury to the operator. Keep a safe and practical distance from the equipment. There are different methods of slowing down and braking the truck. Pushing the handle all the way down is one method. Pushing the handle all the way up is another. The throttle twist grips can also control braking. While traveling forward, twisting the grips into reverse also stops the truck. This is known as plugging. The rear wheel performs the Walkie Stacker steering. Rear steering allows the operator to maneuver the machinery in tight spaces. Of course, rear steering usually takes a bit more time to learn and become proficient at. Pushing the handle to the right steers the truck to the right, and pushing the handle to the left steers the truck to the left. Make sure you fully understand how to steer the Walkie Stacker safely before you operate. The Walkie Stacker operates on the straddle principle. This means the load is straddled by outriggers. It's the same principle as when lifting a box. Your legs straddle the load and acts as the balancing agent. A data plate is mounted on every Walkie Stacker, and should be located near the power handle. The data plate lists the load capacity of the truck as well as other vital information. The load capacity is determined by the truck's own physical weight and based on a load center standard of 24 inches. The load center distance is measured from the load bracket to the center of the load. A standard industrial pallet is 48 inches by 42 inches. The stringer is generally the 48-inch measurement. Half of 48 is 24. This is the basis for all load capacity measurement. It can be stated another way, a 24-inch load center. Another determination is based on the extended load center rule. This rule states that for every 12 inches the actual load center increases, the load capacity will decrease by 1,000 pounds. The center of gravity, or COG, is a balance point of a given object. For the Walkie stacker, the center falls here. For a loaded Walkie stacker, there is a center of gravity that would fall here. Given the mast is aligned vertical and the forks are in a horizontal position. This is called a combined center of gravity. When operating your truck, you need to know where this combined center of gravity falls in order to maintain stability. To fully understand the center of gravity on stability, let's discuss the stability triangle as it applies to straddle trucks or Walkie stackers. The combined center of gravity is affected by the movement of the truck or load. As you pick up a load, the combined center of gravity will shift forward. As you tilt the forks back, this shifts the combined center of gravity back. Turning the truck to the right or left also affects the combined center of gravity by shifting it to the right or left. This movement is based on centrifugal force, shifting to the opposite direction of the turn. The closer the combined center of gravity gets to the triangle lines, the less stable the truck becomes. If moved outside the lines, the truck will tip over. Another important feature of the mechanics or engineering principle is as the forks are raised, the combined center of gravity is raised also, which lowers the stability factor. Be aware that the triangle narrows the higher the load is raised. This is called pyramiding, so keep the load close to the ground when moving and raise the load only when absolutely necessary to complete the job. What is the most dangerous maneuver any operator can make with the straddle truck? Going too fast? Turning corners too fast? Raising a load too high? Well, these are dangerous maneuvers, but to answer the question correctly, the most dangerous maneuver any operator can make is to make a turn with a raised load. If you have knowledge of the center of gravity, the combined center of gravity, pyramiding, and the stability triangle, you can fully understand why turning with a raised load is so dangerous. When carrying a load with your truck, don't lower the load all the way, as the outriggers can upset the load. Keep the load above the outriggers. When working near a loading dock, be extra cautious. Never drive close to the edge of the dock. This could cause a major accident. Be aware of where the wheels of the truck are at all times. When loading material onto a truck, make sure the dock plate is properly installed and secure. Debris on the floor can cause the Walkie stacker to skid or lose control. If you fully understand the capabilities and limitations of your truck and apply the proper operating procedures and safety rules, you'll be a professional, and your job will be much easier and, of course, much safer. Thank you.